Hey there everyone, standing here today with the brand new King F7 Driver from Cobra. I feel I need to say this, Cobra seems to be one of the most underrated brands in golf. They produce fantastic equipment, really funky things, do things a bit differently than everybody else, yet people don't seem to take notice. Hopefully after watching this clip from me, you'll give them a second thought when you are doing some driver testing anytime soon. So let's jump straight into the technology. The King F7, they have simplified their whole weighting system, which I'm very excited about. It's very simple, very easy to understand, but more importantly, it works extremely well. So very easy to see. You'll see there are 3 weight ports on this driver. You'll see that 2 of them are black, 1 is an orange. Simple. The 2 black ones are 2 gram weights. The orange one is a 12 gram weight. So now you can imagine what starts happening here. At the present moment in time, the heavy weight is at the back of the driver. Effectively, all the weight is there. Very stable, very high launching. You miss it, the driver doesn't want to veer too much offline. So it becomes a high launching, higher spinning driver. And then, of course, for the guys that tend to hit it left to right, fade, even bordering on a slice, if you take the heavier weight and you put it in that port over there, you've just made it a draw enhancing driver. Purely because the weight is in the heel, the driver wants to turn over very, very easily for you. Couldn't be simpler to understand. I'm quite a fan of this because the previous model, the F6, look, it was cool with the carbon track and everything, but it was actually quite confusing. The other thing that we obviously need to talk about is you'll see they're still utilizing the smart pad technology. What that does, and this is quite a cool technology, is as I put the driver down, regardless of what loft setting I've decided to put my club on, I can make the driver sit square, make it suit my eye, whether it's slightly closed or slightly open. A very, very fine touch, but it does make a difference. Still featuring the My Loft 8 system from Cobra, effectively giving you 8 loft settings. You'll see that is indicated on the club here itself. This one specifically goes from 9 degrees up until 12 in half-degree increments, also giving you 2 draw settings, that being a 9.5 draw and a 10.5 draw in this specific model. And then something that we definitely need to discuss, and something that Cobra doesn't do a song and a dance about. Can you hear that? That's carbon fiber, multi-material construction. Now, Cobra have evolved this quite a bit since they started using this many years ago. They now use something called Textreme. Textreme is basically just a bigger weave. In other words, instead of having your thinner strands, they've got very, very big strands. This allows them to use much less carbon fiber and in turn save even more weight than a standard weave. All that weight, of course, doesn't get lost. That weight gets redistributed, making this one of the most forgiving drivers on the market today. Last but most certainly not least, Arcos. Now, this is quite cool technology. It's quite niche at the moment, but what is it? Well, it's a tracking system for your statistics, which is actually quite cool. How it works is you would download an application onto your smartphone, you would pair your smartphone via Bluetooth to this little device, and off you go. Every time you hit the driver, it'll measure how far you've hit it, what golf course you're on, and it starts building up this whole repository of data for you. It's actually quite incredible. I can't wait for this to be in all their clubs. For now, however, we can only track the driver statistics. Now, my recommended player profile for this driver definitely is the mid-handicap players out there. So kind of the guys from a 10, I'd say up to about an 18 handicap. You would benefit greatly from this driver. It is easy to launch up in the air. It is super forgiving. Because of the Textreme technology that they implemented, is actually quite low spinning, which is ironic. High launch, low spin will always give you maximum amount of distance. Cobra have done that beautifully in a package without losing any forgiveness level. I would definitely give this a try. Like I said right in the beginning of the show, Cobra is extremely underrated. You do need to give it a try next time you are in the market for a driver.